Hello, it's me again. Um, well, I was playing around with an idea that I had for a while now, an auto miner, and I came across this YouTuber called Emerald Fire. Fire spelt FYR3. And I thought that the general concept was pretty good. The idea was that this device here would slowly go forwards, mine out some blocks using this head, and pull them back. Now, as cool as this was, it never really had a mechanism for getting rid of the stuff at the head. So, that's where I come in. I have managed to create a device that essentially does that for us. And this is it. As you can see, the slime block flying machine is slowly coming out. And as you'll see in a moment, everything will be removed from the head. So, in order to give this a good test and show you what it can do, I will fill up this area so that it's easier to see what's going on. Lime, concrete. Now it's just about completely filled. I was just messing around with some of the water mechanics and lava mechanics to see if they would work. Remove these two just because it looks awesome when it does that. And it's currently stowed away at the station. Currently fit in there nice and snugly. So, in here is the main control room. This isn't actually necessary, I was just using it to clear out these, which is actually the block output. I haven't set up a TNT thing for it yet or anything, but this should do for now. This is access into it. As you can see, there it is there. And now, we've got a couple of options. If we flick this lever, it will run, come back, automatically offload, and just run again, and keep on going infinitely. This one only runs once, these two are for when the miner has been detected, and this one just toggles the music, which I like to keep on because, I mean, it sounds pretty good. So, I will turn on the run once, and we'll see how it goes. So as you can see, it's already pulled out from the station. The station is actually doing something at the moment, but that's not really supposed to happen. It's only when it comes back. But hey, that's how it is. As you can see, it's left a nice hole. Pulls out just perfectly through there. And across. And that's pretty much it. The problem I had with these pistons, oh my goodness, if they were extended, then they were therefore powering this area, sorry, if they were powered, then they were powering these blocks, which messed with this. If they weren't powered, then the slime blocks would drag them with it. So I had to choose the perfect opportunity. And the problem was, even when I found a way around it, you can't really have these powered constantly, because then the head will only be pulled to about here if there's stuff on it. Which means that then the slime blocks, that is the head, will be dragged across and it'll mess up all sorts of stuff. So, that's essentially the main bulk of it, and as you can see, it deposited it all here. So I will set it to run continuously, and we should be able to see. So it goes off, it'll do the same thing. Now the general idea of this, what I've been working on, is not actually this area back here. This is just detect when it occurs, or when it comes into the station, do something, and go. That's nice and simple. It's this bit that's been an absolute hassle. So, instead of trying to separate each one out, what I've done is created a little head thing. I'll show you what I mean. So this was the idea that I was originally working on. Quite simple. You've got all your pistons pulling everything from every side, and your double piston extender to get the front ones. And as you can see, it would have worked perfectly well. The only problem is that I now have to get these blocks out of the way. And I mean, with these, wouldn't it be easier to push them that way or that way rather than up, down, forwards or back? It just didn't make sense. And this way was just way harder to implement. So then I turned to this one. It's a little more complicated, but it achieves the same thing in a slightly different way. So the top and bottom ones still pull, they're the exact same mechanism, but this time these pistons here will push these out to here, and then the triple piston extender pushes it out. Now in this example I haven't actually linked the two circuits, but yep, so it's pushed them out and pulled them down, but because of the way that it works I can now push that across. So these two bottom ones are headed off that way, which can be processed later. And the good thing about this design is with the triple piston extender, which is only half complete at the moment. Why has it done that? Okay. With the triple piston extender, it will push all of these blocks across, out of the way. So these are headed that way, those are headed that way, and these are all headed that way, so they can all be processed. Nice and simple. Now this triple piston extender in this example doesn't actually fully work. It extends, but it doesn't retract. I was just using that to simplify things, to make it easier to see. Because once it pulls back, it would pull back to here, which is out of the way. Now one thing I did have to note is that just here, I did have to heighten it, because if it were the real deal, there would currently be some observers and pistons moving through here, so just beware of that. So that's the general idea. Now with this one, I probably could have put some sort of piston system in here, and maybe even here, but the issue is, I can't do it for this or this, and moving it out and around is just a huge pain in the backside. So instead, I opted for the other method. Now, you're probably wondering what this big mess here is. Believe it or not, that's the triple piston extender. It's something I've been working on for quite a little while, because it's supposed to be as flush as possible. This is the furthest out that it can extend. It cannot be here, or here, or here. It has to be here minimum. Sorry, here maximum. So that's why it was such a big deal. It actually detects when the thing's coming in by using this observer. And yeah, you can see here, these are the pistons. And like I said before, they should always be extended, except when the head is actually coming through, because you want it to move through. Let me explain. So here I've got a sample set up. This is why I have to be extremely careful around this thing. So, if I activate these, no problem. So, when this piston pulls back, I can push on these, and they push forwards. There isn't a single problem there. However, there does come a problem if these are already extended. Before, I retracted this, and it pulled back, and then we pushed those. However, if I pull now, it just detaches the whole head. That was the problem I was having. But I eventually got it to work, and thank you Emerald Fire so much for that design. It works so well through lava and water. If you want to learn more, just go to his channel. And yeah, I have, these command blocks are just here to clear out anything that might be in this general area, just so that it doesn't keep on going and clog up, which I have had before. It's rather frustrating. And if you don't like the music, you can always turn it off just by flicking that. Music's quite simple, except that one. And maybe those two. But what I mean is that little chime that you hear, you can turn it off. All it does is it picks up when you want to send off the drill. And that normally comes through here and plays the little chime when you tell it to send off the drill. However, this just comes along, cuts that redstone, no music. Yep, so those two sounds are the only ones at the moment. And if I hit run once, no music this time. So yeah, that's essentially the whole build. I will put a Mediafire link down below. Oh, not sure why that happened, but I'm sure I'll figure it out. So, thank you for watching, and I will see you later.